Family, good afternoon. Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode, and I am right now at 24 hours into this week's fast. I'm so excited because I am right now doing something amazing for my body. I'm doing something amazing for my metabolism, and I'm just so excited and glad that you are here to join me as we go through this week's fast. Hey, once again, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. My goal is to help you to have the success in your health, just like you're having in all the other areas of your life. So you can show up for those things that are so important to you, your family, your friends, those dreams that you have been pouring into. Yeah, you want to be healthy and you want to be around. You don't need superhuman strength. You need a strategy you can trust. You need a plan you can follow, and you need the support and the determination to keep going and to keep showing up. So, thank you for being here. Welcome, welcome, whatever platform you're joining us from, whether you are here on YouTube, you're on Facebook, you're on LinkedIn, you're on Twitter, you're any platform you're on, or even Twitch. Thank you for coming through and hanging out. Go ahead and drop in the comments where you are joining us from, whatever city, state, town, village, and of course, whatever country, because we do have some of our community members that are joining us from outside of the country. So thank you for coming through and thank you for being here with us as we are taking charge of our health and taking charge of our lives. As you know, we are in the process, right? Another fast for this week. And right now, as I said, I am 24 hours into this week's fast. For those of you who ended the fast, who are ending the fast right now, kudos to you. I'm excited for you. Streamers and noisemakers and balloons and rockets are going off right now because you have made a choice that you are going to be healthy and you're going to do what you need to do for your health. So, congratulations to you as you are ending your fast right now. If you did not see what I ate for the last time yesterday, as we did our pop-up, you want to get over there and you want to watch that, and we will see what's going on with my blood sugars of the course as we get through this fast. This is a wonderful way for you to pay attention to the types of foods and how the food affects our bodies. So make sure you get back there and watch that video from yesterday when we did our pop-up. Well, let me back up. Let me back up and let me just say, health and time are the two most important things that we own. Are you taking care of your health and are you managing your time well? And so this week, our theme has been resilience. Often we think that resilience is some inner strength that we have, but I'm here to tell you that resilience actually is a skill that you can learn. So often we say, okay, she is resilient or he is resilient, or I wish I could be more resilient like they are. You can. And it takes structure, it takes determination, it takes intention, and it takes a strategy. And so that is what we are talking about this week. And one of the most amazing strategies, come on, raise my hand. One of the most amazing strategies, of course, is fasting that we are doing right now. And so we'll talk about that here in just a minute. Let's go ahead and I'm going to grab our plant. If you've been following us, you know. So this is our plan. Let's go ahead and let's put that right there. So here we are. I know one of our team members came into the office, came into my office, because I usually have this in a conference room, and they say, hey, let me come in there. Let me take a look to see what you've been doing. And you'll see that our plant is what? It is healthy and it's looking fine. It's looking green. We've got that right there. So just like we take care of this plant, just like this plant needs care, it needs water, it needs light, the things that we do in our lives are important for our health. The health that we have, this health is just like the plant. It needs care. You need to pay attention to it. You need to make sure that you're doing all the things that you need to grow yourself and so that you can make yourself help put yourself in a position to be healthy going forward. Okay? All right. So fasting. Why do we fast? We fast because fasting has an amazing way of righting so many of the dysfunctional things that we have that are going on in our health. We talk about metabolism. fasting is an amazing way to right the metabolism. And so if you've not seen one of our shows yet, go back and make sure you watch those. But one of the things I want to talk about right now is the fact that fasting is a way of getting into a routine. The pause, I'm going to let that sink in. I was talking to one of our community members when we did our after the show, after the Monday night show. We have a group, we get together after the show, and I was telling them that one of my non-negotiables is fasting. So I don't have to think about whether I'm fasting anymore. It is what I do. And so my team knows, my family knows, my friends know, my church know, you guys know, so that it is a routine. And because it's a routine, I don't have to waste energy thinking about it anymore. So I adjust the day fast, particularly if we're traveling. That doesn't have to happen often. You guys know I fast on what? Wednesday, Thursday, and I break the fast on Friday. We go through that process every single week. It is what we do. And so the question for you is, what in your life, what have you put in that is helping you maintain a consistent routine? So things now are built around my fast. I have implemented or I've instituted the fast into life. And so when we're talking about what we're going to eat around here, I think about what I'm going to eat at a particular time because guess what? Yeah, I'm fasting. When I think about the things that I need to do, when we think about traveling, we think about doing different things with the family, right? I know that I either have to shift my time up or I change how I do it because I'm going to fast. How I do it may be different. And as you've seen, we've done a consistent 72-hour fast. As a matter of fact, sometimes we've done like a 96. One week we actually did 106 hours of fasting. But the method of fasting may change, but the fact that I fast doesn't change. And so if we're going to be resilient, we've got to begin developing those patterns, those skills, those routines that take the friction away from our decision, takes it away from our motivation, takes it away from us having to make a decision each single time. Because when the emotions come, the decision that we make is not going to be the decision that we want to make if we've not been practicing. I want you to get that. In the heat of the moment, we default to default. So whatever it is that you've been practicing, whatever it is you've been doing, whatever it is that you've been, whatever routine it is that you've been on, when the stress comes, when life happens, when you're off your routine, the thing that you are going to go back to is the thing that is most familiar. And if the most familiar thing is the thing that you say, well, that I don't want to do that. Well, if you don't want to do that and there's nothing else that's been put in place, then guess what? Your body is going to go back, your brain is going to go back to the thing that's most comfortable. And that's why fasting is so fascinating. And fasting is amazing because it allows me to set the system. I predetermine what I'm going to do and I put it in place. And over time, I do it over and over and over and over and over. And now that mental friction is gone. Now, if you're joining us for the first time, I'm going to say to you that that's probably not going to happen the first time. The first time you decide to fast, you probably are not going to get through the fast. I'm going to pause because let's be real, right? We want a system that works, not a system that is theoretical. So we've got to talk about those places where we have struggle, where we have challenges, where it doesn't go the way we want. So the first time that you start fasting, it may not go the way you want. But that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with it. It just means that we've not gotten there yet. People say to me, "Well, I'm going to start fasting." I say, "Okay, great, let's do it." And they say, "Well, I'm going to do 48 hours next week." Wait, have you ever fasted before? Are you prepared for the fast? Do you understand what's happening in your body during the fast? So it is not something where you say, okay, I'm just going to do it right now, and it happens. It takes time. That's why we practice all kinds of things. We go to, if you're in sports, you practice. Like I would love to say, because sometimes I watch some of the teams playing, playing basketball, even if I'm watching football, I'm like, man, I can do that. Guess what? No, right? Because it takes practice. I listen to these amazing musicians at our church. I watch these videos. I even see my son play, and I think, yeah, I can do that. Guess what? I get on the piano, and no, it doesn't. Because what? Because I'm not practicing. So just like we practice all the other things, this also takes practice. And when we practice, when we go through the process, when we go through the motions, when we put the intention in, when we go through the time to make it a routine, then when something happens in our lives, we have the capacity to absorb it. And people now say, oh, he's resilient or she's resilient. Guess what? Yes, they are, because we practiced. So resilience is not an inner genetic thing that just happens just because. It is something that is learned. It is something that can be developed. It is something that can be improved. And so here we are now at 24 hours, one day into the fast. And you may have had some occasions over the course of the last 24 hours where things didn't quite go the way you thought they were going to go. You got a headache. Your blood sugars dropped. You felt nauseated. You felt uneasy. You felt tired. You felt fatigued. There's something that happened during the course of the last 24 hours. And you may have interrupted the fast, or you may have pushed through the fast. Those are normal. That is a normal process. Your body is adjusting. Your body is changing. Your body is getting used to the process, particularly if this is your first time, or you're close to the beginning, not just necessarily the first time. Even now, I was sharing with my wife several weeks ago now, or months ago, that during there was a period of time, and it was maybe back to back to back, maybe 3 weeks in a row, where I felt nauseated as as I was going through the fast, and I was drinking water and I was doing all the things, and it just was upsetting my stomach. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't stop fasting. I made sure there was nothing really happening, right? So make sure I'm hydrated, make sure I'm electrolytes and all the things. So we're not just ignoring it. We're making sure that there's nothing physiologic or physically wrong, and then we come back at it. That's one of the reasons to listen to our bodies, because the body will talk to you. So if you're feeling some symptoms, don't just ignore them. Make sure you are touching base with your family practice doc, with your healthcare provider, making sure that you're talking in the community. Say, hey, this is what I'm having. This is what's going on. What does this mean? So that if there is something we need to take care of, we can do that. But other than that, it is the routine, right? Day after day after day. In our case, week after week, right? So if you're doing one of the alternate days, or one meal a day, or 16-12, one of the intermittent fastings, then great, right? It is a process that you go through over and over and over. So building resilience has to do with the structure and the routine that you've put into place. So back to our 24 hours. So 24 hours, right? We're at the end right now of the 24 hours. Those of you who are getting ready to start your 24 hours, I want you to begin thinking now that, hey, okay, maybe I'll feel something that's happening in my body, but that doesn't mean that this is not the thing that I want to do. So resilience is the ability to absorb, to be able to bounce back so that our system doesn't crumble, but it also takes us adjusting the system. Remember our inner design loop? We anchor, we align, and we adapt. And that adapt part has to do with evaluating what's going on and making changes, tweaks here and there, so that we can be successful. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead. Let's see. I see some of our community members out there. So let's go ahead and say hello. So Cornelia, hey Cornelia, what's up? She says, hey Dr. Wood and the LLG. Hello Cornelia. Let's see, who is that? Hello Cornelia, and I think that's coming from Steve. Yeah, there we go. Hello Cornelia. Hey Steve. Uh, okay, Francis, hello there, and from Uganda. I loved your show, and thank you for educating us. Oh, come on, come on. I don't have my sound on this right here, but okay, man. So excited that you're here. Thank you for stopping through. Thank you for hanging out with us, and so glad that you are getting some benefit from the things that we're doing here. Okay. So Cornelius saying hello to okay. And I hope I'm pronouncing that properly, by the way. Oh, okay, there we go. Cornelia says, oh, she's from Ohio. Yay, Cornelia, Buckeyes. Rachel, what's up, Rachel? Rachel saying hello, everybody. Rachel, thank you for coming through. Thank you for hanging out with us. I'm gonna put some music or some sounds on this so I can give you guys, balloons and streamers and rockets and so forth. So Rachel say hello to all. Good. And Cornelia says, the plant makes me smile every time. Yeah, plant makes me smile every time. Yeah, that's our thing right there. That's our thing. Cornelia say hey to Rachel. Um, and then Steve says, I'm atop beautiful Gunter Mountain in Alabama. That's where I am, y'all. Not in Gunter Mountain, but I'm here in Alabama, here in Huntsville, in the Huntsville, South Parkway. Hey, hey, hey. So, so I'm excited. I'm excited. You know why I'm excited? I'm excited because I'm seeing people wake up. I'm excited because I'm seeing people have benefits. I'm excited because I'm seeing people, the light bulb is going on after a long time. People are having successes in their lives, in their metabolism, in their diabetes, in their weight, in their blood pressure, in their cholesterol, where they didn't think they could have those successes in the past. I'm going to throw my hands up to put myself in that group. Because if you've heard my story for a long time, as the person who was teaching metabolism, the person who was instructed, the person who was trained to help people deal with metabolism, I struggled and suffered with that myself. Why? Because there was no structure. Pause, 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 pause for I want you to hear that. And so I'm excited now because finally, finally, the limitless method, the limitless method is working and people are seeing the benefits. People are understanding that they have a choice. People are understanding that resilience is not something that I'm born with or a part of my genetics or something I can't get, but something that you can get. And let me pause here to say life is going to be life. I used to say, when I finished school, I was going to do something. Or when I finished my medical school, when I got out of graduate school, I'm going to start living life. Or when I got my first job, I'm going to start living. Or when I finished my residency, I'm going to start living. Or when I started my fellowship, I'm going to start living. And you know what I realized? That years and years and years have been going by and I was going to live. But the truth of the matter is, that was life. Wherever you are right now is life. I know we'd like to think that this is an anomaly in life, but this is part of life. And so life is going to happen. And the question is not, is it going to happen? It is how we respond. And that is, we respond in the way that we are defaulted to. The things that we've practiced, the routines that we put in place, that's what we're going back to. Because that's what the brain finds is the place of safety. So we'll talk more about that as we get on in the future. This idea of the safety, the brain wanting us to be safe, right? That's why. Let me just preface it by saying this. That's why we do some of the things we do. That's why we binge. That's why we buffer. That's why we overeat. That's why we get off course. That's why we get off the rants. That right? Because we default to the thing that's easiest, because our brain is in the business of protecting us, and it thinks that is the best way to protect us. All right. Well, hey, we will be back tonight, 9 p.m. for Dwain Woode MD, as we do our 33-hour check-in tonight. We'll be back for our pop-up tomorrow as we do our 48 hours, and then 56 hours tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. And of course, on Friday, make sure you join me, because on Friday, you get to see what I eat for the first time after 72 hours, y'all. That's right, 72 hours. It's gonna be good. I'm not sure what it is yet. I have an idea. If you have a recommendation, by the way, go ahead and drop that for me, right? Because I'm always looking for things that I can eat, and I want you to be able to see what happens to blood sugars based on the food that I eat. So go ahead and drop those, because we'd love to work with that, and love to try some things that you may have. Okay. Anyway, so I'm glad that you're here. Always glad when I get to be here with you. Those of you who are now starting your fast, and we've already talked to the folks who ended the fast right now. If you are starting the fast right now, right, you're getting ready to do the 24 hours, I want you to go ahead and put me, right, just put me in the comments right now so that we can give you a shout out. But shout out, kudos to you for making a decision to do something for your health. Hey, y'all, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life. Avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. The limitless living method works. It is there to help you do for yourself the things you need to do. And the limitless living method is designed to help you to have success here in your health, just like you're having success in the other areas of your life. So you can show up for those things that are so important: the family, the friends, the dreams that you've been invested in. You don't need a superhuman strength power. You need a strategy you can trust. You need a plan you can follow. You need the support and the structure to keep showing up every single time. All right, everybody, we'll see you at the check-ins, and we'll see you as we continue doing our pop-ups. Have a great one. Bye-bye.